Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well as we venture towards Friday. It's nearly Friday. I'm so excited. You can tell by my excited face. Anyway, today we are going to be... This is video 2, by the way. Video 2 of 2, not 3. I'm not that good today. I'm running a little bit late. But the other video was twice as long as normal, so you can forgive me, I'm sure. But we are going to be talking to a testicle, or about a testicle with glasses, and that is James Patterson. He is a respected, until the end of this video, author of many loved books. I don't know any of them because I don't fucking read his books. But even if I did, I now wouldn't. And I'm going to tell you for why. So this guy is worth around $900 million. So let's just set that to the side, because that could later become Brian Kohberger's net worth. And look, we get loads of people, when we do this kind of content, we get loads of people in the comments saying, you're a grifter. You're a grifter. You're taking money off the back end of dead children. You're doing this, you're doing that, you know the drill. And if you don't know the drill and you want it in a little bit less of a, how can I say, censored format, head over to JB Gunner. The link is in the description down below, and he will give it to you non-serviant in the format with which everyone loves. Because I have to be a little bit PC. I can't say certain things because the powers that be will strike me down with great and furious anger, whatever it is. A little bit of a nod there to Pulp Fiction. You movie lovers will know exactly what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? I'm dragging this out because I love money, and the longer this video is, the more I get paid. Just kidding. I'm not Tyler Feller. Anyway, so yes, he is doing a book, and this book may even be released before, that's right, before the trial. And I would say, even if it's not before the trial begins, it's very likely going to be before the trial ends. And what does that sum up? That sums up that we potentially have a defamation lawsuit on our hands, because these kind of things are where these things are born from. But what it does tell you is some people who have got power and money and the king of grifting simply don't give a fuck because they want to sell their book. But what does James Patterson think of Brian Kohberger? Well, he seems to think that Brian Kohberger wanted to do the perfect crime. I don't know whether it's his age, but let's just say that if it was Brian Kohberger, he didn't plan the perfect crime. And when you ask the question, but what went wrong? Pretty much fucking everything. Because he seemingly took his phone, drove his own car, left a witness, left DNA, and subsequently the whole house of cards imploded upon him. But James Patterson turns around and says, the question is, why did he kill these youths? I put to you, Mr. Patterson, that that's not the question whatsoever. The question is, did he indeed do it? And if he did he do it on his own? Was he indeed screwed by a system that was rushing to get a conviction because of pressures from the powers that be? Because they didn't want it to affect a small community that relies solely upon the imposing structure that is the University of Idaho. That makes up the most part of their income. You can imagine, can't you? At the end of the day, you don't want something like a horrific murder hanging over your head, making people wonder whether it's safe to venture in and start new semesters, join the university. And you certainly don't want to lose those that are already there because they fear for their lives. So there's a lot riding on getting this sewn up, done up, and fucked off down the river. But look, some of us will believe that this was a simple case of Brian Kohberger was a psychopath and he came in and done this crime. And they will ignore many things that point to the fact that this could have had a little bit more to it. And I don't just mean that he potentially didn't do it altogether, but that perhaps he could have done it with a little bit of help from his friends. But look, that's for previous videos, later videos, and whatever videos you want, because I'm here to serve you. I'm like McDonald's. I nearly do as many videos as they do burgers. Not quite, but I'm getting there. But what do you think? What do you think of this critically acclaimed author worth nearly $1 billion doing a book that seemingly paints Bryan Kohberger as guilty of the crime, and he hasn't even been found guilty yet? What do you actually think of that? Because I think of it like this. If Bryan Kohberger gets hold of this, Bryan Kohberger could utilise this as unfair trial grounds, because this is spiralling out of control. My earlier video touched on the fact that the court are well aware of what is being said about Bryan Kohberger by mainstream media and the likes of Dateline and Coffin Dodger, so on and so forth, and they're not fucking happy about it. They're not happy about it. And this guy is not a stupid guy, even though if he did this crime and made this many mistakes, then that's arguable, but that's by and by. The point being that the trial itself has to be fair. Even though YouTube can't be fair, mainstream media can't be fair, and James Patterson can't be fair, the trial itself, those involved in it, the process has to be fair. And if it can't prove that that can be fair, then that can't go ahead. So if he walks out of this, you've got two things that are going to happen. Either justice has truly been served, just in a little bit of a default way, and that is that there is a mistrial, there is an unfair trial claim, and he walks on that, but he never did it in the first place. Or he did it. He did it, he's a psychopath. Technically, there's two other things. And he did it on his own, but he's now back out on the streets. And because of what mainstream media and the likes of James Patterson, so on and so forth, have done to him, he could do it again and walk again. He may have learnt lessons even from what he made in mistakes in this time round. And if it was indeed his first time, his second time might just be that much better. Or worse, depending on how you want to look at it. But mainstream media, the likes of James Patterson, they have done this. They've done this. Will an innocent man walk and finally get justice, but through this other way? Or will this guy who did it on his own, or the third version, which I failed to mention, is that there was other people involved, so there's a group of people that fucking walk away from this. All because people cared about clicks and views and wanted to push one specific attacking narrative on an individual that needed to go through due process in a fair and reasonable way in order for just the facts to decide upon whether he did or not beyond a reasonable doubt. And people made that impossible because they just couldn't let go. They were too involved in painting a picture that he had a lock-up container that had human flesh in it. He was a cannibal. Freaky eyes, bushy eyebrows. He bragged about killing fish. Need I go on to say anything more? There is enough there. But like I say, I'd like to know what you think of the whole situation and whether you're going to be buying the book. Because if you ever need an incentive to buy it, it's because James Patterson knows stuff. He knows stuff that you don't know, that I don't know. Nobody knows. But he's going to put it in a book. It's nice of him. At least he's not hiding it. At least he's not keeping it away from people. He's keeping it in the book. So you will get to know if you buy it. Or if someone else buys it and you do that and look over their shoulder and read it, maybe on a bus or a train or a plane, while you're trying to escape somewhere like Idaho, which I fucking wouldn't want to live. Let me know down below. And I'll catch you on the next one.